My late husband, Lee Duncan, never liked to be referred to as a dog trainer. He much preferred to be known as master and friend to Rin Tin Tin. As he so often said, a dog is a reflection of his master. I would like to begin by saying, when you start the training of your dog, remember that your dog is a reflection of you, so his manners and behavior will be whatever you have made them to be. Try to be at least half as good as your dog thinks you are. That's another of Lee's theories and a good one to remember. As you start your training, think of your puppy as you would of a little child and treat him as such. And if you apply a little psychology along with your training, you will gain that much more understanding of your dog. Keep in mind these three words as guideposts to success as a trainer: patience, firmness, and common sense. Too great stress cannot be placed on these qualities. Be soft-spoken and gentle, because your dog may be slow to learn like some children. Go slowly and praise him if he does what you ask him to do. Praise is a motive power in the training of your dog. I think another point to remember is one Lee often stressed: before you can teach a dog anything, he must first learn to love you, his trainer. And like a child, he must learn to love his teacher in order to learn anything. It is very important that you build his confidence in you. Before the dog can learn what you want to teach him, you must understand thoroughly what it is he is to learn, how he is to learn it, and how he feels about it. So you must know more than your dog before you can train him. Study your dog. Is he the shy, nervous type, or is he quick, alert, and eager to learn? Understand your dog before you begin. If he is slow to catch on, be gentle with him until you have the key to his personality. Otherwise, you might break his spirit and you will have a difficult time of training him. Make a real companion of your dog from the first, and he will learn to look upon you as a wonderful creature. When you have this perfect understanding between you and your dog, it will be lots of fun for both of you, and the lessons can begin. The very first thing you must decide when selecting your puppy is what size he'll be when fully grown. He won't be a little puppy very long if he is of the larger variety. Also ask yourself how much time you are going to have to devote to your dog. He will need a great deal of love and devotion to develop into a satisfactory member of your family. If you are looking for a dog to be a playmate for children, avoid the toy breeds, which are really too fragile to withstand children mauling them. The time to select your puppy is right out of the nest at 6 weeks of age, after his mother has turned him out into the world, and he will be wholly dependent upon you for his care. You should assume full responsibility for the feeding and training of your young charge. Make it a point to be with your dog personally as much as possible if you are going to be the trainer, and always feed him yourself. He must learn to look up to you as master or mistress. Too often, all the members of the family wish to have a finger or a whole hand in bringing up a dog, with the result he doesn't know who to obey, and he is puzzled. After all the lessons are thoroughly learned, then someone else can take him through his paces at times, but until then, remember, one teacher and one only. Dogs have expressions that reflect their personalities, so look for soft brown eyes that indicate a loving and gentle nature. Conformation is most important. See that he has good structure and proper lines, a dog you can be proud of. Look for good strong bones, a well-shaped head, and ears are also important, and above all, look at his coat. This will tell you if he is a healthy puppy. His coat should be alive-looking, not mangy or dry, and his eyes will be bright and clear. Look in his mouth to see that he has good healthy teeth and gums. Temperament is most important in selecting a puppy. To test him for shyness, clap your hands, and if he runs away from you, forget about him and look for another puppy. But if he comes bounding to you, it's an indication that he has no fear and has a happy disposition. Don't discredit one that is standoffish. This isn't shyness. He is just reserved and not the overly friendly type. Also observe him for alertness by snapping your fingers in back of him to test his hearing. Also look for that friendly approach in the puppy, not one that will slink away when he sees you coming. The breed to select will depend on your home. If it is an apartment in the city, then the smaller and more quiet breeds would be more favorable, such as the Basset Hound, Cocker Spaniel, Pekingese, French Poodle, or the very lovable Dachshund. For the country or a big city lot, the larger variety, Collie, German Shepherd, Great Dane, Sporting and Hound breeds, or the Terrier breeds, are but a few of the many breeds to mention. Contact a good veterinary near you, one in whom you will have complete confidence. Have him examine your puppy to make sure he is in good health. Also ask his advice about inoculations needed in your community. Your vet is a good man to know, like your family doctor, should anything go wrong with your puppy. Shall your new dog be male or female? When it comes to general health and intelligence, both sexes are equal. As for cleanliness of habits around the house, a properly trained male is in no sense objectionable. So it is just a matter of preference whether you like a male or female. Both are good and both have their own distinguishing advantages. It is entirely up to you, and you alone will have to decide which sex it will be. Select a suitable name for your pet, one that is short so he will make no mistake that you mean him when you say his name. Don't pick an idiotic name that people will laugh at. He doesn't deserve this, and it will only embarrass him to have people laugh at him. So pick a name that suits him. If he is a pedigree dog, you might want to choose an appropriate kennel name for him, but for his call name it could be different or a derivative of his registered kennel name. For instance, the name Rin Tin Tin is shortened to Rin, and the puppies are called either Rinty or Rinny. You might choose a name like Valiant and call your dog Val for short, but teach him his name as soon as you bring him home. Be sure that you learn how to pick your puppy up the right way so as not to injure his legs or to pull his shoulders out of place. You could disfigure him if you do it wrong. A fat little healthy puppy is heavy, so it is best not to handle him too much. But it is such a temptation to pick up a puppy and cuddle him. Place your hand under his chest with your fingers between his front legs and your other hand under his rump to support his weight. Never lift a puppy by his neck. This hurts, and you might make him hand shy. Don't hesitate for a moment to reprimand anyone who has not learned the proper way to pick up your puppy. Leash break your dog as soon as he is old enough. Both a collar and leash are important in the life of your pet, so he must become familiar with them. Let him wear a light 3-foot sash cord loosely around his neck so that he will become accustomed to wearing a collar. Let the short end dangle about his neck and have him wear it for about an hour or two at a time. You might use a lightweight leather collar for this, but don't let him wear the collar all the time. It will spoil a dog's ruff, and also it could be dangerous. He might get it caught on a chair or fence and choke himself. The age to start training your puppy will depend on the breed as well as the temperament and mental ability of your dog. Most dogs can begin their formal training at 6 months of age. Of course, housebreaking the puppy should begin as soon as you bring him home. It is so easy to teach them good habits right from the first, rather than to have them develop bad habits that might not be easy to correct. The good habits can be taught early in the puppy's upbringing. However, some of the cute tricks that most puppies love to do, such as retrieving a ball, picking up a newspaper, shaking hands, and sitting up, can be taught in easy stages as soon as a puppy has become adjusted to his new home and surroundings. Do these tricks as long as a puppy is willing to do them, but don't overdo. It is so easy to cause your puppy to become sour on training, and he may lose his willingness to work. It is best to go slowly at first with his training to see how much he will grasp without becoming confused. Don't bother him with too many lessons in good manners until he is old enough to understand. The brain of a puppy under 10 weeks of age is too undeveloped to comprehend the why and wherefore of regular training, so be patient, kind, and understanding at all times. If the pup is inclined to be timid, take special pains not to let him be frightened in any way whatever. A young puppy is extremely impressionable, and a severe fright will have a far lasting effect on him than most people imagine. However, if he is a normal healthy pup and of the more active breed, at the age of 9 or 10 weeks he'll want to tear into things, chew curtains and rugs, or anything else soft and dangling that is within reach. Be patient with him. This is a natural instinct to develop jaws and teeth. Remove temptation from his reach, and when he is caught in the act of destroying furniture, tap him on the side of the jaw hard enough to make him look up in surprise and say sharply, "No, no." It is remarkable how even a little puppy will soon learn this lesson if he is taught from the first. Immediately give him his own toy to play with and tell him, "This is yours." At the very start of your training, get over to your dog that when you say his name, it is an attention getter and that a command will follow. For instance, if your dog should get loose from you the first time you take him away from home, and if he becomes confused and runs across the street in heavy traffic, say his name so that you will have his attention. Then tell him to stay or down until you can get to him. This could be disastrous. If he comes to you on his name alone when you call him, he might be hit by a car and be killed. Be sure your puppy is ready for his first training lessons. Some dogs learn very quickly, and with others it will take time and a great deal of patience. If he shows signs of not being interested, go slowly with him, and by all means don't force him to do anything he doesn't want to do. This is most important. Avoid fear training. You can accomplish much more through praise. You might get quicker results with threats and whippings, but you might break his spirit. Your dog will do his commands not because he wants to please you, but because he fears of what might happen to him if he doesn't do what you tell him. It makes a much happier relationship between you and your dog if he likes to work and he knows he can please you. No one wants to be punished all the time. When he has completed his exercise and done it well, he knows he will get a pat and praise, "Good dog," from you, which he will be looking for. He will be most eager to please his master, and through praise you will gain so much more, so make it a happy time. Don't fall into the easy solution of giving him a tidbit as a reward for the performance of an exercise. It'll work some of the time, but not always. Praise is a better method. However, don't spoil your dog with too much attention either. This isn't good. Make your first lessons short. The length of time should be 20 to 30 minutes a day. It can be for 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes in the evening, but it should be every day. The lessons can be extended as he learns and as he is willing to go on with the exercises. A word of caution: by all means, don't overtrain your dog. If he is listless and not feeling well, forget the training period for that day. Dogs, like people, have off days too. Never work your dog on a full stomach. He will be more alert and attentive on an empty stomach. Feed him after he has finished his lessons. It is best to wait at least 2 hours after feeding before you work your dog. He will be less apt to have an upset stomach. Your work area should vary so the dog will not become bored and uninterested. The backyard could become dull routine to him. Occasionally, take him to the park or playground area. This is good training for him, so he will learn to work whenever and wherever you ask him to. However, don't take him downtown into heavy traffic until you have full control over him, and then, of course, always on a leash. Never punish your dog. He does not understand punishment. He is corrected. And by all means, never whip your dog. You will only confuse him and make him afraid of you. Correct him with no, no, or shame. And if he continues to disobey, shut him up in the garage or a room by himself and let him know he is in disfavor with you. Do it immediately after he has disobeyed so he will know the reason for being locked up. When you scold him, be firm and yet use a soft voice. Don't shout at him. He won't understand you. Voice inflections in training is so important. Distinctive tones of voice for different commands, a praising tone, an indignant tone for correction of a mistake should be practiced. Make training a happy period for your dog. If you enjoy your work, he will be most eager to please you. A little praise will accomplish so much more than a spanking. After all, you are working with an animal, not a human being. A dog doesn't retain the memory of a mishap for very long. He lives for the moment, so the correction must come immediately after it has happened. First and foremost, you must gain your puppy's confidence and trust. Never make quick or sudden movements toward your puppy, as this will frighten him. Let him come to you. When you want your puppy to come to you, stoop down and say, "Come," in a quiet tone. Hold out your hand and snap your fingers. If he runs from you, step backward or turn away from him, and he will think you are leaving and will follow you. While if you approach the dog, he thinks he is to be punished and will turn away to avoid being caught. Let him set the pace, and don't force him to play if he seems drowsy or disinterested. Always let him come to you. Always take your dog to the same spot and stay with him until he has relieved himself. Walk with him until he has found the right spot and then stand perfectly still. Don't move. You will distract his attention. You might have a special phrase or word for this part of his training, such as get busy or potty, but be sure he understands what you mean. By taking him to the same spot each time, he soon associates the reason for that visit, and after he has taken care of himself, praise him with a pat and say, "Good dog." Then you are ready to bring him in the house or take him with you in the car, and you are sure he will be comfortable for an hour or two. It is most important that you train him properly in this respect, and if he should happen to relieve himself in a favorite flower garden, let him know immediately that you are displeased with him and say, "Shame." Then take him to the area that you have selected for this purpose and repeat the word or phrase you have associated with his bathroom habit. My husband was never in favor of putting newspapers down on the floor for the puppies to use. He felt that every time the pup saw a newspaper on the floor, it was there for his benefit. When the puppy is small, it will take a great deal of perseverance and patience to housebreak him properly, and it will be necessary that he be taken out every few hours or even oftener. If he has been asleep in the house for some time, take him outside to his area immediately when he wakes up. It will take constant watching at this point. However, if the weather is cold and it isn't convenient to take him outside, put newspapers in a spot such as a corner of the service porch or near an outside door, preferably with linoleum or tile flooring. Place the puppy on the papers, and if he does what you want him to do, praise him. Try to show him that you are pleased with his conduct. Also, check your pet shop for housebreaking equipment that is now on the market. If he should make a mistake and soil a rug or the floor, scold him as you hold him near the spot and then rush him to his papers. Remember, the best method of teaching your puppy manners is prevention. See that he has his own corner of the living room and that he stays there when he is supposed to. If you are visiting, always find a place for him to lie down where he will be out of the way and help him to behave so that you both can enjoy the visit. Never let your puppy jump up on people. This is a very bad habit and should be stopped at once. When your puppy approaches you, lean over and pet him before he gets his front paws off the ground, or get down on your knees when he comes running toward you. When you are too late to do this and he jumps all over you, don't pet him. In a sharp tone say, "Down," and it may be that you will have to raise your knee if he is a big dog. Your knee will catch him on the chest, and a few such knocks with the word "No, no" will soon get over to him. He must stay down. Be sure to pat him when he has learned to greet you properly. A little praise when he has done the right thing will go a long way. If he has learned his stay lesson well, you won't have much trouble with him when the doorbell or the telephone rings. Some dogs love to race to the door or the telephone, but if you have taught him to stay, he won't begin this bad habit. Better yet, have him tied up at first until he becomes used to the general noises around the house, such as the vacuum cleaner, garbage disposal, and electric shavers being turned on, which might frighten him when he first hears them, but reassure him by talking to him. Let him know these things won't hurt him. Always remember, a puppy is like a child. He must be properly introduced to all the strange new things around him. Another annoying habit that you must not permit your dog to develop is racing back and forth in the car when you have him with you. This can be very dangerous as well as annoying. Always keep him in the back seat of the car. Have someone drive the first time you take your puppy in the car. Sit with him, holding him with his leash, and talk to him. Tell him to sit and take a firm hold of him and make him behave. Make your first ride a short one, and be sure you pick a good driver, not one who likes to take the corners on two wheels. This might make your dog sick, and he may never want to ride again. Also, when you stop the car, don't let your dog leap out of the car first. Have him stay until you say the word, "Okay, come." This is most important. Sometime you might have to stop your car to pick up a passenger or let someone out, and you don't want your dog to get out in the street if there is a lot of traffic. It might prove fatal to him. Another vital lesson to teach your dog is to stay when you have him in the house and you open the door. So many dogs race out the minute the door is opened. This, too, can be both annoying and dangerous. He might knock someone down if he is a big dog. Have him sit by the door and keep your hand on the doorknob until he is settled down and you have his full attention. You might have to do this with a collar and leash until he understands. Then open the door, but say to him, "Stay." Have him sit for a few minutes and then tell him, "Okay, let's go." Never tease your dog, even as a puppy, just to entertain your friends. This could lead to a very mixed-up dog later on when he is grown. Don't taunt him by slapping, however gently, or grabbing at him. Shove him around all he wants and tumble him gently, but never, never tease him. Get your puppy interested in a toy. He can amuse himself by the hour with a hard rubber ball, hard rubber toys, or hard piece of wood. Never give your puppy pieces of soft wood or soft rubber toys or balls that he can swallow or tear up. And never should he be given plastic toys, sponges, or small stones to play with. Your puppy's toys are very important. They will help to comfort him and make him feel at home the first days away from his mother. Later, they will help in his exercise too and encourage him to learn his lessons quickly. Don't make the mistake of giving him articles of clothing or shoes to play with. He won't be able to distinguish between his playthings and what belong to you or the members of your family. With a new litter of puppies, We tie a hard rubber toy on a strong string or light cord, hang it from a beam in the kennel or pen, or from a branch of a tree outside. This will keep the puppies busy for hours and will teach them to become interested in playing. The hard rubber toy will exercise their gums and help develop their permanent teeth, which begin to appear when they are about 4 months old. The greatest joy to the first Rin Tin Tin was a little squeak doll that he was permitted to play with when he had finished a long and exacting scene in a motion picture or after a personal appearance on the stage. He dearly loved his doll and knew that this would be his reward when he had finished his job and done it well. Lee would let him have it for just short periods at this time, so he never tired of playing with it, and to his dying day he loved his doll. If you can get your puppy keen on one special toy, he will be easy to teach. Select a lightweight slip chain collar suitable to the size of your dog, the kind that has loops on both ends. This type of collar is preferred for training because it gives you proper control over your dog at all times. It is very important that you place the chain collar around your dog's neck the right way. Hold one ring in your left hand above the other. Then drop the lengths of chain through the lower ring. Now you have a loop to slip over your dog's head. Have your dog sit in front of you and slip the loop over his head. When you slip the chain over his head, the chain should be on top of his neck, never underneath. Otherwise, you will have it on backward and won't have the proper control of your dog. Test the collar on your wrist a few times to be sure you have learned to put it on properly. It is very important that your dog not wear his collar all the time. He should wear it only when he goes out or when you are training him. A leash should be 3 feet in length for walking your dog, and a training leash should be at least 6 feet long. The type of leash depends on your dog, preferably leather with a loop on one end for the hand to slip into, with a scissor-shaped catch or halter snap on the other end. This catch should be attached to the free ring of the collar. Otherwise, the dog might slip out of the collar if not properly applied. Practice walking your dog on a leash in your yard. Try to guide him always on your left side. This is a proper position. But don't force him, and don't worry if he flops down on the grass the first time you try this. Let him get used to the collar and leash gradually. Let him drag it around for a while. He must learn to know that the leash is a symbol of a happy time, not a fright or a force. You don't want him to become leash shy. After he has learned to walk on your left side without lunging or pulling, take him out on the street, and if he gets too far ahead or too far behind, use a series of short jerks on the leash and say heel, and have him stay close to your left side. His head should be right by your left leg as you walk along, the collar loose and the leash slack at all times. Encourage him constantly. No coaxing here. Make your command heel, sharp, and authoritative. Then praise him when he comes to the correct position. If he hasn't learned to come to you when you call him, use the collar and leash by stooping down, gently pulling on the leash, and say come until he has mastered this command. Learning to be tied for a period of time is very necessary for your puppy. This will give him a chance to relax and to sleep. However, it should not be for more than 2 to 4 hours at a time, otherwise he will think you have forgotten about him. If he is just a puppy, a shorter period is advisable. Select a spot in the house that will be out of the way of traffic and where he can watch you work. If you are going to read, tie him to the base of your chair and tell him to stay and give him a pat. However, before this is done, be sure that your dog has relieved himself outside and you know he should be comfortable for the period of time that you want him tied up. Always select the same spot for his tie-up lesson in the house and try to do this every day so that he becomes accustomed to the house and feels secure in his own corner. This way, you can work around him but ignore him completely. At this time in the house, do not feed or water him. This is excellent to teach him poise. This will also aid in housebreaking your puppy. When tying your puppy outside, use a chain with a swivel on one end so that he can move about if he wishes, the other end tied to a branch of a tree, but have enough length to the chain so that he can lie down and be comfortable. The swivel is a metal ring that revolves in a complete circle and is attached to the chain collar with a snap hook. This way he cannot become twisted up in the chain. Here again, the chain collar is good to use, since he is learning to respect the give and take of such a training collar. He will soon learn that if he lunges, it will tighten up, but if he relaxes, it won't hurt him. He may be unhappy the first time he is tied, but stay with him and talk to him until he has settled down. This is a good exercise to teach him poise and self-control. By all means, be sure that he is comfortable. If the weather is warm, tie him under a big shade tree, and if it is cold, tie him inside away from drafts. Always use a chain to tie him. He can chew a rope and get away, and you don't want this habit to develop. However, keeping a puppy tied up all the time will make him mean and vicious. The sit-stay exercise is most useful to teach your dog. Hold the dog on a short lead with your left hand, then with your right hand push him down gently but firmly on his hindquarters until he sits, and say the word sit. Put a hand on his head and walk around him counterclockwise, repeating stay or hold it. If he starts to get up, press him back with your right hand. Gradually increase the circles without touching his head. Eventually, you can walk away from your dog and he will stay in sit position for 3 minutes. Praise him if he does this exercise well. Let him know he has done what you want him to do. Also, as you make the circles around him, clap your hands so that he becomes accustomed to noises around him. The object is he must stay in that position in spite of distracting noises and people around him. The down stay exercise is another good one to teach your dog poise and control. Have your dog sit, then gently press his shoulders down, taking hold of his front paws and pull them forward with the word down, and repeat the circling, the same as a sit-stay position. Clap your hands as you circle around him. Then walk away from him, but keep an eye on him. If he makes the move to get up, come in immediately with the word stay or down. He should stay in this position for a full 3 minutes. If he doesn't get his lessons right the first time, be patient and keep showing him until he understands. Don't quit too soon or give up. He may be slow in learning. My husband never liked to refer to his dogs as trick dogs. He preferred them to be known as educated, which is a lot different. You may have seen trick dogs in the circus or sideshows performing automatically on cue. They are really remarkable, but they seem so sad. You don't want your dog to be a circus performer. You want him to be happy and to like doing things to please you. Learning tricks is good discipline and helps in a dog's general mental development. To teach your dog to fetch is easy if your puppy likes to play. He will run after a ball or toy. Start out with short distances at first. Stoop down, or better yet, sit down on the grass and have him come to you by saying, come. He will soon catch on. However, if he is distracted by birds flying or other outside noises, take him inside. A long hallway is an excellent place to teach your dog to retrieve. He won't have any place else to go but right to you. If you have trouble getting your dog to catch an object, have him sit down, place the object in his mouth and say, take it. With your hand over his mouth, stroke under his chin and say, hold. When you take the object out of his mouth, say, give. And when you throw it, say fetch or go get it. And after he has picked it up, say come and have him bring it to you. Most dogs love to do this. Teaching your puppy to retrieve comes in handy in going after the paper, and he can be taught at an early age to do this. Dogs love to bring in the paper, but teach him the right way. Don't let him tear it up. Be close by and stay with him even if you have to help him carry it the first time. Praise him and say, "Good dog." Let him know he has pleased you with a pat. Discourage your dog from fetching everything he sees. He might become a nuisance, especially if he fetches the neighbor's newspaper. When he picks up something that isn't his, say to him firmly, "No, no," or "Shame," and show him his own toys and tell him these are his toys to play with. This is a good time to teach him not to touch anything that isn't his. For this reason, we don't encourage using shoes or nylon stockings to train with. It stands to reason if he is permitted one time to play with these personal belongings and another time scolded if he picks them up, he is going to be puzzled and confused. Always have ready some of his own toys and keep them in one spot where he can find them. Like a child has a box for his toys, your puppy must have a place for his too. If your puppy is reluctant to pick up an object, his mouth may be sore from teething. Check his gums. If they are inflamed or if his mouth is drooling quite a bit, then it is best to put off this exercise until his mouth is normal. Teaching your puppy to catch an object balanced on his nose is a very cute trick. A light matchbox or a paper match holder is good. Take hold of his muzzle lightly, balance the object on his nose, have him hold it for a few seconds, then tell him to catch it. It will take time, but be patient. He will like to do it and will flip the box in the air and catch it. Try this with his favorite toy after he has mastered the matchbox. Most dogs love to shake hands, and this is an easy trick to teach. Get your puppy in a sitting position. Gently press under his chin with your left hand to throw him slightly off balance, and as his foot comes up, say shake and grasp his paw, shaking it gently. Do this half a dozen times a day for a few days, and soon, with just the word shake, he will automatically give you his paw. Make a fuss over your dog when he has mastered the handshake. Let him know you are pleased with him. If you want the left paw, press under his chin with your right hand and get him off balance, and his left paw will come up. Some dogs are natural handshakers. They know this is a way to get your attention, so encourage this early in their training. Be careful not to grab or pull so it hurts him. Just take his paw gently. Because sitting up is an unusual position for a dog, he will need help at first. Be sure that he is sitting down squarely and is comfortable. A small rug or pad under him will help so he won't slip. A corner is a good place to try this. Lift him gently by his front legs until he is in an erect position. Keep him there a few moments and say, "Sit up." Then release his feet and put one hand under his chin to help him keep his balance. Keep repeating to him, "Sit up, sit up." Hold him there for only a few seconds. Then let him down with much praise. Repeat this several times a day until he gets the idea that he can sit up by himself. Very often you will find it helpful at this point to motion him up with the hand, holding it above him and snapping your fingers to attract his attention upward while you give the command. Encourage him if he does it well. If he flops down the first time you try having him sit up, it may be an indication that his back is too weak, and I would suggest that you wait until he is older to try this exercise. To teach your dog to back up, have him stand in front of you on the leash so you will have control of your dog and nudge him on the chest. Extend the leash in front of you and at the same time say back. You may have to step on his toes a few times to get this over to him. After a few times on the leash, you can get him to back without the leash. To teach your dog to crawl, have him down stay and with one hand on his back, extend the other hand with his favorite toy in front of him and ask him to crawl forward. Be sure you have his undivided attention for this exercise. Dogs love to lie on their backs, and teaching him to roll over is easy if you have played with him on the floor. Make it as much a game as possible. This can be done when he's quite young, in fact. When he is lying on his back, put one hand in the middle of his back and the other under his chest and shoulders. Give the command, roll over, and turn him gently over as you do so. When he is over, praise him highly. Let him know what a colossal accomplishment he has completed. Do this 3 or 4 times in an evening, and once he seems to have the idea, cut down gradually your assistance until he can roll over by himself, just on command. Praise and a spirit of good fellowship will make him happy and enthusiastic about rolling over, and you might get him to go over 2 or 3 times. Be careful, though, about overdoing. He may become bored with it as a repeated thing and lose interest. If he objects to this spirit of play, forget about it until he is older. Then get him in a receptive mood by petting and praising him as he lies on his side. Don't whisk him over if he is not relaxed. He will resent it very much, and it might turn into a battle instead of a game. This you want to avoid. In conclusion, training is repetition, repetition, and yet more repetition. Only in that way can lessons be taught. The result will be a well-trained dog that you can be proud of and not be ashamed of his behavior.